All right, what's up? How do I pronounce your name? I don't want to get it wrong.
Azzy?
Okay, I wasn't sure if it's Azzy or Easy or I don't know. I've never seen your name before.
Some people say Azzy, and I'm like, no, it's Azzy, as in Snazzy Azzy.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I like that. All right, so tell my viewers who you are and what you do.
I'm Azzy. I founded Obscura Undead, which, gosh, how to encapsulate Obscura Undead? We have done event promotion, band booking, goth nights here in the Tampa Bay area, and I've guest DJ'd in tons of places east of the Mississippi.
Mhm.
So I'm a DJ as well, but on YouTube, which is my primary focus, we have a lot of mixes. My co-host Scarecrow Joe and I have been doing a lot of album reviews and literature reviews, like goth
Mhm.
book reviews and things like that. And we're going to be getting into video essays, but we've also done a zine. I have a comp coming out in January. It's kind of hard to encapsulate, and by January I mean like next week. That I'm doing with some of the Obscura and Dead crew because I have friends all over the country and all over the world who are willing to invest a little time into the projects that I have going on, which is really cool. So it's hard to encapsulate what Obscura and Dead is. It is essentially a snapshot of what is going on in the goth scene, at least that catches my attention, the attention of the folks
Mhm.
who work with me. It's just a holistic look at goth.
So, how'd you first, start Obscura? Like, what was your mission from the outset, and how did it become what it is now?
Well, a big part of what it was I had recently moved to Florida. This was like 5, 6 years ago,
Mhm.
maybe. But I'd moved to Florida and I was really depressed and I needed something to do with my time. So I, was talking to some friends of mine and, you know, it just sort of happened where I came up with this idea of I really want to do like events and look at goth in the way that resonates with my neurodivergent like brain and
Mhm.
things where I feel comfortable as an introvert. And it ended up kind of becoming obscure and dead because I wanted to do something that would make my 15-year-old self super happy. And I have a lot of energy. At least when I wasn't, when I was unmedicated, so I was like having manic mood spells, but had a lot of energy and put into it. And I've met a lot of people along the way who have joined and helped me build Obscure and Dead into what it
Mhm.
is, which is now it kind of touches on a little bit of everything because honestly, within the subculture, we have some people who love books, we have some people who love movies, we have some people who love traveling the world for festivals.
Mhm.
You know, who only go to see local bands, in their area, and, there's no one way to appreciate goth, and I like to think we reflect that at least a little bit in Obscure and Dead with what we do.
For sure. So, where'd the name come from? Obscura Undead.
Well, Obscura was, well, because first off, it's fun to say, but
Right.
it also is partly inspired by the word oscuro, which is, like, Spanish for shadows, because I really, really, really do love Mexican death rock.
Mhm.
So I wanted to honor it, in that way, but then undead is just I don't know, goth is undead. Undead is a very goth like thing to throw after
It
anything.
is. After anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest goal that Obscura Undead has for 2024? What are you trying to do this year?
For 2024, my biggest goal, so Scarecrow Joe and I are working on doing a bunch of video essays, and if we can get out our series that we are currently, like hip deep in research on, it's a series on the history of death rock. It's looking
Oh,
at
cool.
like different areas, different parts of the world, and it's kind of a bit of a pilot experience for us into looking at goth holistically from a global perspective,
Mhm.
and doing more research and combining more resources than what you find in a lot of goth media.
Mm.
which, is either very much geographically set in, well, in Death Rock's case, like, in California, even though there's nothing written on Death Rock, except for Monkey Bean's Phantoms. Otherwise, Death Rock kinda seems to be the, red-headed stepchild of punks that punks don't wanna claim. It's weird.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, we're trying to just provide, like, really well-researched
Mm,
and, um, story-driven ways of just consuming this information, because I think a lot of folks are interested, but tracking down the resources and slogging your way through just a ton of material to figure out exactly what was going on, it is a task.
for sure.
So, yeah, so just, to our big goal is to just put out some, fun video essays just on the history of the subculture and of the different genres, and, I don't know, more personally, just say yes to Azzy this year, meaning just do what's fun for me.
There we
And
go.
currently what's fun is working with my friend Scarecrow. But
That's awesome. I definitely look forward to that series being out.
it'll when we get done with it, we are still in the drafting,
Mm,
phase for the first part, which we wanna do on, LA and the early years, and, uh we are digging through Mikey Bean's Phantoms again, and that book is such a beast. So when we get through that and finish pulling out all of our notes and relevant information from it, so hopefully by summertime, that'd be nice. I don't want to just throw something out there on the internet. I want it to, be
right.
good.
I get that. So okay, so when the y'all are making the like the music mixes,
Yep,
the
that
how
is my project.
okay, so how do you determine like what order to put the songs in, and where's all this music come from? How do you find it?
So a lot of the music comes from Bandcamp or gets sent to me promos from bands, and I have to check every single track to see if YouTube will let me actually upload it.
Hmm.
So that's a big consideration in what ends up ultimately ending up in the mixes. But Bandcamp, SoundCloud, other YouTube channels that upload tracks and such, like, because it's community effort, I guess, even if it isn't intended to be one. We're all looking at different hashtags and tags in Bandcamp. But yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of time looking for music, like during the week. And deciding on which order that I put it in, that's a little bit more complex. I have a video out actually where I talk about that. I put that
Okay.
together as an introduction to mixing because one of the Obscura Undead DJs had to take a bit of a hiatus, and we have a weekly radio show on Wax Radio Indie. And because they needed to take a break, I opened up their regular time slot to amateur DJs, anyone who wanted to learn how
Mhm.
to DJ, and so that video was made, to help show people, like, the basics of how to mix. So, sometimes I go by BPM, sometimes I go by, like, 1 key step. Lately, I've been trying to use a little bit of music theory in my mixing and, move within chords
Mhm.
based on, like, the key that the songs are in, but otherwise, it's a lot of, whatever sounds good. If it sounds pleasing to the ear, it probably goes together.
That makes sense. So, how many people actually work with you on Obscura?
Currently, let me think. Currently and actively, it is, I wanna say 4 other people, because people come and go and drop in and out because
Mhm.
it's a volunteer effort, and,
Right.
I appreciate any help that I get from folks, but I don't, um, you know, say, "Okay, this is your job now. This is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
We have a meeting on Monday."
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
but right.
doing what I do is also completely, same way, so I get you.
Yeah. So it's 4 other folks. It's, Scarecrow, 2 Mouses, and DJ Vamp Daddy.
Yeah.
We have so many mouses.
Okay. So how did you like find the other people that are working with you?
Well, so Scarecrow, I met Scarecrow way back when, and they started Gateway Goth events up in St. Louis, and I started Obscura and Dead down in Tampa. And we had been chatting on Discord, specifically in the Gothy Discord run by Dave Azoiser. It's
Mhm.
the official Discord of uh, r/goth. So we had met in there because we both joined in the early days, and Dave's a friend of mine, and so we were
Mhm.
just chatting around in there. And it's a great community, and
It
I
is. I just joined a couple days ago, but it seems really good.
it is really good, and the admins have worked really hard for a long time to like really make it a positive community. And you know, it's constant work in progress, and I think that what Dave has put together is just fantastic, and he really does his best, and I think it shows, and not a lot of people seem to know about the Gothy Discord, or they just have negative experiences because they remember the early days when it was a bit more lawless. Yeah, growing pains and all that, but, so I met Scarecrow Joe on there.
Mhm.
The mouses, so Tampa Mouse, um,
Mhm.
Florida Mouse, she was someone who I met because before I moved to Florida, I was living in Hawaii, and I knew this person who, she lived in Tampa, and I asked her, "Hey, like, who should I reach out to when I move there if I wanna DJ or, like, collaborate on things?" And, he gave me 2 names, and Mouse is the one of the 2 who actually messaged me back.
Mhm.
And so we started working together, and I did some guest DJ spots for her, and then we eventually started Obscura and Dead, um, up until, she went on hiatus, a well-deserved, like, just break from everything.
Mhm.
And then Ian and Other Mouse, I
Mhm.
met through, Tampa Mouse.
Okay,
It's just being around, being friendly, and seeing what people are up to.
for sure. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you face as a creator?
Mental health.
That's always a good
Oh
answer.
god, mental health. Uh, I've all my life, like, struggled with, like, suicidal ideation and all that jazz, and,
Mhm.
just depression, like, major depressive disorder, and, that has been the biggest challenge. And I was actually talking to Michigan Mouse,
Mhm.
Me Mouse, and, a couple months ago, and, I was telling him, like, "It's been 5 years. This year's the 5th anniversary of Obscura and Dead, and I never accomplished amount like, I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to because,
Mhm.
like, of my depression and my mental health and shit." And he's just like, "No, look at all that you accomplished despite that." Which, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point, but honestly, the biggest fucking hurdle is just self-care and reminding yourself to do that, especially when you are self-avoidant and you have the vice of working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were an animal, what animal would it be and why?
You know, you sent me the, question list, and I was looking at this
I
one,
did.
and I thought I was gonna pick jellyfish
Mhm.
because they don't have to worry about anything except floating around in the ocean, and they're a species that are essentially immortal, and sometimes you get to go into hermit mode and just be a goddamn polyp.
Mhm.
But I ultimately decided
Hmm.
on a house cat
Okay.
because house cats are like pampered honey badgers.
They really are.
They don't care. They'll chase you down. They'll steal food out of a crocodile's mouth and chase a bear up a tree. They don't give a shit. And then, they just go inside and act all cute and get lots of snuggles and be just completely pampered. House cat sounds fucking nice.
And someone else cleans up your poop. What more do you need?
Exactly.
All right. What is a song that had a very big impact on you when you were maybe like when you were younger, growing up, first got you into like goth type music?
First thing that ever got me into goth type music was Floodland and First and Last and Always.
Yes.
I got them in a used CD bin. I liked the cover art, so I was just like, "Yeah, this band looks cool. I'll pick them up." And I was like, "Whoa." And then I
Yeah.
didn't leave my, CD player, like my 3 CD changer back in the day. Didn't leave it, for months at a time, and I listened to those albums just a lot. But one song that means, like, especially a lot to me one song that means a lot to me, though, is, "Black Cherry" by This Cold Night.
I don't know that one.
It's a really nice song. It is about, rediscovering yourself as a trans person.
Oh, okay. I guess I need to go find the song.
It's a really nice song.
Okay, cool. Alright. Alright, where can people find Obscura Undead and keep up to date with what's going on?
Well, Scarecrow just started a message channel, one of those, like, dedicated broadcast channels on Instagram,
Yeah.
under the handle Obscura Undead. I hope to get back into streaming, soon, ideally before the end of this month, streaming over on Twitch, just playing music, so that's Obscura Undead. Facebook is Obscura Undead, but the most central thing to what we do is YouTube, I would think,
Mhm.
actually, which is Obscura Undead. We're also on TikTok, Obscura Undead.
Oh, I don't think I'm
We're
following you on TikTok. I'll have to fix that.
we're working on getting content up,
Yeah.
'cause before Scarecrow joined, the channel was in sort of a stasis where I was just uploading mixes every week to kinda keep it afloat, and I was doing it because they're my mixes from Wax Radio,
Mhm.
and the mixes were all I could do. 'Cause I was so burned out and just so goddamn depressed. It was as much as I could bring myself to do.
Mhm.
So that's what lived on the channel for a long time, and, Scarecrow's been helping me revamp it, and hopefully we'll be in good shape by the end of the year, but we also plan on, doing more on TikTok, doing more across social media, which is their forte. Not mine. I prefer to just sit in a dark room and read books and listen to music.
I hear that. Alright, what message do you have for anybody who watches this?
So a lot of people think that they can't do something because they don't have, X piece of equipment, can't
Mhm.
afford Y thing of makeup, can't, do this, that, or the other thing for whatever reason. And if it's something that, you really want to do, the only thing that's holding you back is you. You can have absolutely zero resources, except for the phone in your pocket, and still be able to, you know, do something that's meaningful to you, especially like within the goth subculture, right?
Mhm.
Um, there's so many ways that you can be creative, and there's so many ways that people should be creative, but ultimately I think we end up holding ourselves back because of a lot of internalized fears. But at the end of the day, like, whatever anyone wants to do, there's only one you.
Absolutely.
And and you only have one life and there's only one you. So I I think that take a chance on yourself.
I think that is a fantastic message. Oh, my longtime viewer Kyler, he agrees. That's a great message.
So where all is this broadcasting right now? You said Twitch
Facebook
and
and YouTube and Twitch.
wow, so many places. Hello. I haven't been live in a hot minute.
For sure, and, we'll make sure it gets, reshared out all over the place too, so people find it.
Yeah.
Alright.
You can find Obscure and Dead absolutely everywhere as Obscure and Dead. You can find me in a lot of places as DJ Azzy. Just look for the Death Hawk.
Alright, is there anything we haven't talked about that wanted to talk about on here?
It's been a whirlwind 20 minutes.
It
How
has.
did you get
Sometimes it's
started?
how'd I
I
get
actually
started?
wanna know more about you.
Okay, sure, why not? It's been a hot minute since, I talked about stuff, so, oh, hey, buddy. What's up? Alright, so 5, 6 years ago. I was with this online radio station. There was a total dumpster fire. Not going to go into it, but basically that imploded, and I went with a few of the people from that and started something else, which is also now defunct. I branched off from them about 8 months ago and started this page. I didn't think I could do anything on my own. Like I didn't think I had the people skills to talk to people or to meet anybody or do anything. But then I went to Dark Force Fest and met a million people, made all sorts of connections, especially Dusty from Vision Video. So I came home, got a tattoo. But like I don't know, it's just yes, Kyler, I have you. I love you, buddy. But yeah, like I just decided because like the last page I did was mostly like occult based, and I'm like, I want to really branch out, make this more broad and more interesting. And I've always been into goth stuff. My parents are goth, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna just make a goth page, and here I am. I do all my own shit.
Yeah, how did you figure that out? Was it just sort of a lot of Googling, or did you have
Figure what
anyone
out?
that you hit up? Hmm?
How did I figure what out?
Did I cut out?
No, how did I figure what out?
Oh, how to do everything.
It's just stuff I've learned over the years doing, when I was with that radio station back in the day, and when I had my last page. I'm pretty much totally self-taught on doing all this stuff. I do all my own video edits and everything.
Gotcha. So it's just a lot of little skills that you picked up along the way synthesized into one thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I think that a lot of times whenever we are just sort of doing something, it feels like it might be useless, but then we kind of pull it out of our back pocket like a
For
couple
sure.
years down the road and we're like, huh,
Yeah, pretty
I think that
much.
was actually more useful than I thought it would be.
Yeah, the only thing I can't do is make music, so I usually, commission someone to do that for me, but otherwise I do all my own stuff.
I mean, you can make music. I bought a bass not knowing how to play bass, started a band, released an album.
That's pretty cool. I own
Like,
4 guitars,
there's a
but do you
will,
think
there's a
I can
way.
play? No. But, like,
Ah,
I don't know, I also, I'm not here to promote myself, I'm here to promote other people, so, I'd rather, give a buddy $100 to make something for me to use for a commercial or something.
totally. I absolutely get that. And I think that's a really great thing because I was talking to a friend the other day. It might have been last night. I don't know. I have poor
Mhm,
time sense, but
I understand.
um we were talking about how like we wish that there was more kind of collaboration among people because goths are very much individualistic,
Mhm.
but then sometimes that translates into we don't play well with others at all.
Yeah. And I've noticed, I feel like not a lot of people really, like, seek out all these goth bands or interviews and stuff. It's crazy, like, I
Yeah.
hit up a lot of them, and they're like, "Wow, we haven't been asked to do interviews in a long time," and I'm like, Okay."
Yeah, I used to do interviews, but they're really hard for me because 'cause I'm very introverted.
I like doing ones like this. I also do written ones on the website, but I'm really bad about that. Like, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll have it to you next week. Yeah, I'll have it to you next week. Oh, yeah, I'll have the questions next week."
Oh god, you sound like me.
Speaking of which, if anyone's watching who I owe an interview, it's coming next week.
Oh, I feel that
Uh,
way too hard, like, right here.
yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying really, really hard, with our comp this year to be super organized, and I've only missed 1 deadline by, like, a day, and I'm really, really, really proud of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So in case anybody doesn't know, Obscura Undead does a yearly comp for the 5 years that we have been active. And what it is we at the end of the year, we request submissions, like track submissions that were released in like the past year. So right now we're working on 2023.
Mhm,
And then we have a committee of folks with like some of them really love industrial, some people really love EDM, some are like goth and death rockers. That's me.
mhm.
But we listen to all these tracks, we vote on them, and then if the bands agree for us to like use the tracks that they've submitted, we release a compilation.
That's cool.
And we yeah, so it's kind of like a little bit of a picture in time of what was released the past year.
Hmm.
So that's coming at the end of this month. Because yeah, you can follow Obscura Undead on Bandcamp at Obscura Undead. Yeah, it's not a common handle that anyone's ever used anywhere, so I don't think I've ever had an instance where I can't grab it.
Yeah, that's like, when I was trying to come up with the name for my company, and I'm like, what about like Moonburn? And I go and I look, and there was a Moonburn Productions. And I'm like, really? So I added an estimated burns, and here we go. And it's
It's like
also
a Vision Video. It's like a Vision
yeah,
Video shares the name with like this Christian video store,
so
which
funny.
is delightful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. I don't know. What
And
about your audience? Do they have any questions for me? I don't know how many
yeah,
audience there is. I don't have a counter here.
currently I've got 3 people watching.
Oh,
Hey,
hello,
Kyler, you
3
got any
people.
questions, bud?
Yeah. Do ya?
What about you, Luke? You
Hello.
got anything? Let's see. I was gonna say something. Oh, and my company name is totally a song lyric. Moonburns. I stole that from Luna by Moonspell, which
Nice. Yeah.
have been one of my favorite bands forever.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that, you also do metal in
Yep.
addition to goth, which, on the internet in 2024, I hope goth is ready for that.
Hopefully. I don't know. I've always loved metal, and I very much loathe the people who are very much like, this is goth, this is not goth, this is goth metal, which is not goth. And I'm like, come on, just let people enjoy what they enjoy and shut up a little bit.
Yeah. What's with this blood feud? I guess it hasn't made its way up to you yet, and hopefully the tide doesn't rise that high.
Yeah, I don't get it. And like there's so many people who are like, you're not part of the goth subculture, you're just a metalhead. And it's like, pretty sure you're wearing black and eyeliner. What's the difference? Like,
It's
can
like
we
I
just
listen
be
to goth and
friends?
I listen to metal. I can be both.
Exactly. Exactly. I just want people to get along.
Yeah, I do know. That would be fucking awesome, wouldn't
That
it?
would be awesome.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
I like goth, but I also like jazz.
there you go. Now we need like a goth jazz fusion.
There is such a thing. Um,
Oh, I guess there is. All I can think of is that song from Lost Boys. But anyway,
Tim Capello.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who's a cellist, and I've heard some of her music used in like goth, and I'm pretty sure that she could do some ethereal goth jazz if she really
Ooh,
wanted to.
that'd be really cool.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm not that much of a jazz person, but like, I'd definitely give it a day in court. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that your audience is shy because I learned their names.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, come on. Not creative today, just enjoying the conversation. All right, Luke. Be that way, buddy. Oh, Jesus, Luke. Goth Polka?
Goth polka.
What was that?
Hmm.
I feel like that kind of carnival goth band is almost there. That one you talked about not so
No,
long
they don't
ago.
have calliopes in goth music.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Hmm. But where can you get an accordion in goth music?
Oh, no.
We need to find an accordion player.
Yep. Maybe go
Hmm.
like, I could see it like an accordion and a hurdy-gurdy. Could be interesting together to make something dark.
Oh yeah, just have a bunch of
Yeah.
air powered instruments.
Yeah.
But here, hold on. Goth polka, goth polka, goth polka. Let's manifest it.
Want to start a band called Death Cordian? That'd be cool.
Uh,
I approve. Yeah. You got any other
nice.
questions for me?
Do I? Hmm. No, I don't.
Okay.
Now I feel put on the spot. You didn't have ask me questions on the question list you
Well,
sent
you
me.
started asking me questions, so
That's true, I did. No, I mean, I'm just hanging out being awkward, and I've run out of questions. I've scraped the bottom of the questions from my barrel, or the
I
bottom of my
understand.
barrel for my questions. I have done a thing with those words in the correct order.
There we go. All right. Before we, oh, what's up? Comments. Ooh, good golf sitar. That could be interesting, Kyler.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could
the
see, like, Dead
possibilities
Can
are
Dance
endless.
doing something with a sitar.
I'm surprised they haven't.
They might have, and we just don't know.
Oh, that could be. Before we totally wrap this up, I'm gonna just pop this up for a minute. Mr. Agitator from my sponsor band Venus for Villains is doing replica masks. Mine's coming in the mail in a couple days. I can't wait. You should check him out. His stuff is fantastic. All right. Anything else, Kyler or Gothish or anybody else? Probably not. Maybe. Yeah, I guess we're good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric. This was fun.
It
I got to see your
was.
panda.
What?
I got to see your red panda. Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah.
Nah, but thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Yeah, and you have a good night. If you want to hang out off the air, you feel free to stick around.
Okay.